Hey guys, it's Steve Luton with Agenda for D. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with the headline and everything? I don't know. I got to find out what's happening with the headline. Everything is all messed up. I'll fix the headline and stuff in a second. But Trump is speaking. I got on a little late. Sorry. Let's listen to him, and Harris is coming up after him.
The United States of America and these two stupid people allow it to happen. 13,000 plus murderers. Many of them committed more than one murder. And they're walking around in our country free and clear to kill again. And they will. They'll kill many times. And last night, Kamala made a speech with a lot of paid audience. They had a lot of paid audience. They came in buses, the same buses, all those same buses. You know what that means? They bust people in. We didn't bust any people in here. We could have sold this place out 4 times. No, they come in, they bus them from someplace, they pay them or something. They bus them in with every bus. Beautiful bus company, I will say. They did a nice job. Bus after bus. And then they leave. They leave before she finishes. But listen, the worst was 4 nights ago. They got Beyonce. Beyonce. They got Beyonce. They said, ladies and gentlemen, they said Beyonce is coming to sing, and she came, but she didn't sing. And then Kamala came on as Beyonce was leaving without singing even one song, and they booed the hell out of both of them. I do not have a guitar. But if you look outside, you could have sold this big arena out 4 times. And at Madison Square Garden the other night, you could have sold that great, incredible, look, Madison Square Garden, MSG, the greatest, I think the greatest, right? It's got to be. It's Mecca for the great championships. In the history of Madison Square Garden, they told me, Jim Dolan, everybody, the fantastic, the job they did for us Sunday night, they said, you could have sold this thing 10 times. We've never seen. In all of those years, they had crowds of people, and I don't mean lines, I mean massive groups of people, all the way back down to the Hudson River. We could have sold it out 10 times. And that's just based on what we're saying. But she spoke last night, and it was boring as hell, but I have an obligation to watch it, you know, because she's our competition. We have to win. We can't take it. They would destroy this country. If they won this thing, they would destroy. You'd have 300 million people coming through, not just 21. Can you imagine? Open borders policy for the entire world, for every criminal in the world. But she talked last night, and all she talked about was Donald Trump.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight I will speak.
All right, hang on. I think they're playing some sort of music. Hold on a second. Let me go back there, but I might have to cut the audio. They're playing like hold on. There was like music under her. All right, hold on. What's happening here? Okay, there we go.
That's all she talked about, because she and Joe have absolutely no achievements. They only have failure and gloom and death. And death. Look at the death they've caused in Afghanistan. Look at that. Look at the death they've caused at our border. And you'll see that. You'll see that what they've done, they've been so bad, we have to get them the hell out fast. She suffers from a very serious disease known as Trump derangement syndrome. But many Democrats do. And you know why they do? Because we're winning. We're winning. We are winning. So this Tuesday, you have to stand up and you have to tell Kamala, that you've had enough, you can't take it anymore, you're the worst vice president, you're the worst border czar, there's never been anybody bad like you. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. Thank you very much. So this outfit, you know, is when he called us all garbage. How stupid! What a stupid word. That blows deplorable away, don't you think? Of course, I thought irredeemable when she said deplorable or irredeemable. I thought irredeemable was actually worse, but deplorable seemed to catch up. But this garbage stuff blows it away. So I'm in this beautiful plane. I'm enjoying myself. I have a wonderful suit on. And one of my people came in and said, "Sir, you know, the word garbage is the hottest thing right now out there. The hottest thing out there. Sir, would you like to drive a garbage truck?" Now, we're about, 30 minutes from landing. We had to do this pretty quick. I said, sort of cool, though, isn't it? Because, and I said, I think that's okay, but, I don't feel comfortable wearing a suit. And they pulled up this garbage truck. I don't know how the hell they did it so fast. I have very capable people. They put a big sign on the truck. Did you see it? I think they showed it to you. Yeah. And then they said, "Sir, we have a vest." I said, "Well, should I leave my suit on and put it over the vest?" But that doesn't look very good, right? That doesn't look good. So I said, "All right, look, let me take it off." And then I actually said, I climbed into the truck, but so I said, "How the hell do you get into this truck? It's way up high. It's a big one." This was a beauty. I said, "You didn't have to buy it that big, right? You have to get it that big?" They brought this brand new, gorgeous truck, wonderful driver. He looked like Cary Grant in his prime. You know who that is? This beautiful driver. And he drove that big thing up. And I said, "Man, this is bad, because now I have all the cameras are all what? Look at all the fake news. They were most of them. No, most of them. Many of them were there, and I'm saying, oh, boy. One little mistake with these guys and your political career's over. You can't even. So I said, man, if I don't get up there, this is going to be very embarrassing. These stupid people, they'll say, he's cognitively and physically impaired. And I can't do that when I'm alongside of this great athlete. I got to get up to that. So look, the first stair is like up here. I'm saying, shit. So I had the adrenaline going and I made it. I made it. And then I gave a little news conference from the front of the, they asked their wise guy questions and everything. And then we drove about 2 feet. I got out, got into the plane. And then I got in the car, and I'm driving over here, and I have this still on. And I come into the arena, and I say, where's my jacket? I want to get out of this thing. And they said, it would be unbelievable if you could wear it on stage. I said... And I said, no way. I got 25,000 people standing outside. I got all these people here. There's no way I'm wearing it on stage. They said, oh, okay, sir. I said, get me my jacket. But if you did, it actually makes you look thinner. I said, And they got me. I said, I want to wear it on stage. When they said I looked thinner, I said, in that case, I'll wear it on stage. I may never wear a blue jacket again. I may go in this. They said that was the word, that was the key. Sir, you look thinner. So anyway, so we had a little fun about a very serious subject. We had a little fun about a time where our country is not having a lot of fun because we're not doing well as a country, but we're going to be doing well very shortly. I promise you that. And I guess you've been reading and seeing the news. It's big stuff. That's all they talk about now is the election. Boy, 6 days, 5 days. But we've set an all-time record in early voting, and the Republicans have set the highest record. They've never even come close. And for you that want to know, tomorrow is the last day for you right here. We've been doing great. This is a great state. This is always been good. Remember this. When you're getting ready to pull that lever, I gave you a boat contract just before I left. And this contract, you know where, right? I gave you, correct. I gave you, and you're building the most beautiful boat. And I'll tell you what, you're doing a great job. They're doing a great job. But everybody in the country wanted that contract. It's a big Navy contract, like 28 ships. They're really like yachts. They're like beautiful yachts with a lot of guns on them. A lot of guns and weapons. And I'm a guy, I love beauty. Oh, I love beauty. So I took that ship and I designed the bow a little bit differently. I said, no, it's got to have more of a point. It was like, and they were great. And they're building it, and it's been so successful. It's the most beautiful thing. But I took a lot of heat from other states because everybody wanted that contract. One of the biggest contracts we've given out in a long time for ships. And they're doing a great job. But you better remember, Wisconsin, I gave it to you. I wanted to give it to you. No, I'm a very visual person. You know, I'm very visual. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's can't help that. And I sort of wanted to redesign it a little bit, and we did, and they were great. They said, well, that's good. And then they looked, they said, you're right, this does look better. It's gorgeous. It's really good. So tomorrow is the last day to request a mail-in ballot, and you still have a few more days to do early in-person voting, but the main thing is to get everyone out and vote, vote, vote. We're going to vote, vote, vote. And you know, we've had tremendous crowds. I've been up here probably 4 or 5 times already. You got me working, Wisconsin. I mean, what the hell do I need this for, right? Do I need this? If it wasn't for bread, I would not have done this, okay? No, but look. I've been up here 4 or 5 times. We had one area, small area, beautiful area actually, but small, and they wouldn't give us enough Secret Service. We had 71,000 people. We ended up in a room with 900. So we have 71,000 people. You saw that about a month ago. 71,000 people. I had a room like a basketball court for 900 because they don't want to take care of us. But it's been getting better and better. It's a little dangerous being president, I will tell you. I didn't think about that. But I could tell the story that a race car driver, you know, a race car driver, 1% of 1%, right? 1/10%, but 1% of 1%, very little. Bull riders, I think that's a slightly dangerous profession. A little bit more than a race car driver, but very little, much less than 1%. A president, I don't want to tell you the percentage, but this is a very dangerous profession. And if I had to do it again, I would have done it every single time. Because we're going to make America great again. And if we win Wisconsin, I don't know if you know, it's very important. You're a very political state, actually. But if we win Wisconsin, we win the whole thing. We're going to win the whole thing. And we've always done well up here, so it's great, and we love it, and we love being here, actually. So together we're going to defeat Kamala Harris, and we're going to win back that beautiful White House, and it's going to happen very quickly. And if you think of it, Kamala Harris cast the deciding votes that launched the worst inflation in the history of our country. She cost the typical American family over $30,000 in higher prices, and now Kamala wants to raise the typical family's taxes by $3,000 a year. Congratulations. But if I win, we will rapidly defeat inflation, and I will make America affordable again. We're going to make it affordable. We've got to bring those costs down. They call it groceries. Bacon, lettuce, tomato, everything is so much higher than it ever was, and we're going to bring that down, and we're going to do it very simply. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to bring the energy down, and everything's going to come down. I will massively cut taxes for workers and small businesses all over the country, and we're going to have something that really has turned out to be quite good. You know, in Nevada we're winning, in Arizona we're winning by a lot. We just got I won't tell you which ones, but in certain states they've already pulled their advertising because they don't want to waste it. They were so far ahead. We're so far ahead. So we're going to get the taxes down and she's raising the taxes, remember that. Everything she says is a lie. She lies. If I say, look, you all know I'm a big fracker, okay? I never said we won't frack. I'm a driller and I'm a fracker. She's not a fracker. She has a commercial that says he doesn't want to frack. Just the exact opposite. Boy, what liars. I've never had, even Crooked Hillary wasn't this dishonest. And she was damn bad, but she wasn't dishonest like these people. Well, I think they're desperate. They said things. I see these ads. It's the exact opposite. It's like her policies used to be before she changed them a year. She changed 15 different policies. You know, if you're a politician, you might get away with one, but 15 policies. She loves transgender operations all over the place. Everybody should have one. She loves men playing in women's sports. Isn't that correct? And she loves open borders where people can pour into our country. But now she's changed that about a year ago. She changed it, and so good. In fact, I think I'm going to send her your MAGA hat. Can I have your MAGA hat? Are they the greatest? Is that the greatest? It's like a sea of red. Except for Elon. Elon had the black hat, right? And I didn't even know we had a black hat. And he shows up in a black hat, Make America, and the letters were black. It was very subdued. And I said, Elon, where'd you get that hat? He said, it's dark MAGA. He called it dark MAGA. And he wore it. He wore it to Butler. He wore it in Pennsylvania, one of the great nights. We had 107,000 people show up for Corey, the firefighter. Butler, PA. And Elon wore it, and he had such a good, he spends all the time in these labs and stuff. It's like crazy. And when he got out, he said, I've never seen anything like this. He had the black MAGA hat on. Here's the good news. I sold 10,000 of those hats over the next week. I didn't even know we had black hats. We sold 10. There was a run on black MAGA, dark MAGA. And Byron liked it too, didn't you, Byron? Huh? Byron liked it. Byron looked beautiful in it. Huh? He looks good in anything. So that was something, I'll tell you. But that was an incredible salute to somebody that deserved it. A big a big Trump fan. We raised him a lot of money, too. We raised the family a lot of money because he deserved it. We have a man tonight. Maybe I'll introduce him really fast, just fast. He's a friend of mine, very successful guy, and I've known him for a long time. He's a member of a place called Mar-a-Lago. Nobody's ever heard of it. But he said, sir, do you mind if I give some money to the widow of Corey, the firefighter? I said, absolutely you should, because Corey had a great career, but it's not exactly, the money doesn't exactly flow in, right? So he hands me a check, and I didn't really look at it, just put it in my pocket. Then I got back home and I looked at it, $1 million. Dan, stand up, please. Stand up. What a nice thing. And then we raised another $4 or $5 million for the family, and also for the two gentlemen that took hard hits. They took hard hits too. The doctors were incredible up there. These guys took 2 hard hits. These were big Trump fans and Maga fans more than even Trump fans, and they know what we're doing is right, but boy, they got hit. But they were, in fact, we thought we lost 3 people, and they made it. And we're giving them something substantial, but we wanted to take care of them all, so Corey was gone immediately, but it was amazing. But I want to thank you, Dan. That was nice, Dan. So we're going to have, in addition to taking care of our workers and lowering the taxes, we're going to also have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors. And I'm going to support a tax credit for family caregivers who take care of their parent or loved one. And they deserve it, right? They deserve it. They're great. You know, if you didn't have people like that, you wouldn't have enough hospitals in this country. They do a job that's incredible, and they do it out of love. You don't have to worry about it. They do it out of love. So we're going to work on a good tax credit for them. We're going to get it done, too. So I will terminate the Green New Scam, and I will cut your energy prices in half. Within 12 months, your energy prices will be in exactly half. 50%. 50%. 50. To bring back millions of jobs, we will give our companies the lowest taxes, the lowest energy costs, the lowest regulatory burdens, and free access to the best and biggest market on the planet. It won't be that way for long if we have idiots running it. It won't be that way. But right now we can say it. But only for those who make their product here in the USA and hire American workers for the job. They're the only ones that do. And if these companies don't make their products here, then they will pay a stiff tariff when they send their products into the United States for the privilege of competing with our workers and our now protected companies. We're going to protect these companies so they don't leave us like they have been doing for 50 years. And we'll also pass the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act. That's if China or any other country charges us 100 or 200% tariff or tax, then we will charge them a like 100 or 200% tariff or tax, called an eye for an eye. And you'll see everything just disappear. I will never apologize for defending America. I will protect our workers. I will protect our jobs. I will protect our borders. I will protect our families. And I will protect the birthright of our children to live in the richest and most powerful nation on the face of the earth. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Get out and vote. And as we rescue our economy, I will also restore our borders. We're going to have a border. We had the strongest border. Wait. Bring down my all-time favorite chart. Bring it down. In history. I love that chart. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that chart, if I didn't look over to the right. I wouldn't be here. I love that chart. Even if the numbers were lousy, I would love that chart. But the numbers are the best ever. So the arrow, the big red arrow on the bottom, that arrow. That's an aggressive youngster. He's going to go places. He's going to go places. But that's my last day in office, and you look at what's happened. That was a Elon rocket ship after that day. Look what happens to that chart. Look what happens to that chart. That was the lowest illegal immigration that we've had. All they had to do, Biden, when he went to the beach, all he had to do was leave it alone. We had remain in Mexico. Nobody could come in. The head of Mexico, president, said to me, of course we won't do that. No, I said, you will do it, you will do it. He said, no, we won't let them remain in Tijuana. Hundreds of thousands of people coming up, pouring through our borders with the past administration. I said, no, you're going to do it. He said, I'm not going to do it. And we had a good relationship. I liked the guy. He was a socialist, but that's okay. And I said, no, you're going to do it, because if you don't do it, I'm going to put 100% tariff on everything you're selling to us. And you're going to, and he said, what do you mean 100? I said, well, I'll start off at 10. I'm going to raise it to 20, then 30, then 40, then 50, and I'll stop at 100, I promise. That's more money than anything you ever heard. And he said, Donald, I would love to do as you request. I would love to. It'd be my great honor to have a policy of remain in Mexico. Over the past 4 years, Kamala has orchestrated the most egregious betrayal that any leader in American history has ever inflicted upon our people. The most egregious. It's disgusting what she did. She's violated her oath and eradicated our sovereign border and unleashed an army of migrant gangs. They're waging a campaign of violence and terror against our citizens like we've never suffered before. We've never had this before in our country. It's an invasion, ladies and gentlemen. It's an invasion. Kamala has imported criminal migrants from prisons and jails, from insane asylums and mental institutions all over the world, from Venezuela to the Congo, including savage criminals who assault, rape, and murder our women and girls. Anyone who would let monsters kidnap and kill our children does not belong anywhere near the Oval Office. And my people told me about 4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the people. I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect the women. Sir, please don't say that. Why? They said, we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. I said, why? I'm president. I want to protect the women of our country. They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say, pay these guys a lot of money. Can you believe it? I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them. I'm going to protect them from migrants coming in. I'm going to protect them from foreign countries that want to hit us with missiles and lots of other things. Remember, for 4 years we had no war other than I defeated ISIS, but I defeated ISIS in... I felt like Brett Favre. I defeated ISIS in 4 weeks instead of 5 years, which they said it was going to take. Because we have a great military, we just didn't have any leadership at the top. I mean, in the office of the president, or even close to it. So I said, I'm going to defend and I'm going to protect women. I'm not going to let people go up to the suburbs or go into places where they live, whether it's suburbs or cities or farms, We're going to protect our women. At the border, we're going to protect our women. And also, we're going to protect our men and our children. We're going to protect everybody. Is there any woman in this giant stadium who would like not to be protected? Is there any woman in this stadium that wants to be protected by the president? I love these. You know, these women are from North Carolina. These women, they've been to 251 rallies. Look how beautiful they are. And they're all happily married. They're beautiful husbands. I saw them once. But, you know, I never see their husbands. I only see them. Look at them. They travel all over the country. This is at least a pretty close one. This is, I mean, they go to California. They're incredible women. I think they have a good home life. I'm not exactly sure. No, their husbands are great, but I appreciate it. Yeah, it's like 251. Can you believe it? And we have front row Joes here, too. They've been to like 400. We got a lot of fun. It's good to see you. These are great people. They're patriots, I will tell you. They're very successful people, very successful people. And we have Mr. Wall here someplace. He's great. He has the wall. I'm going to use that suit someday when I come out. But and it's representative. We've built 571 miles of wall on the southern border. And Mexico paid for it by supplying us with soldiers free of charge, more money than, because technically you can't get them to build the wall if you own the wall, which unfortunately we couldn't work out, but I did better. We got their soldiers and they protected us while we were building it, and they still protect us to a certain extent. So I want to thank, we've had a good relationship with Mexico, but they're going to have to do a better job. We're losing much more than 100,000 people a year to fentanyl coming in from China and then through Mexico. We're going to talk to Mexico very early in our discussions. We're maybe like the first day, one of the very first calls I'm going to make, because we cannot let fentanyl come into our country. Can't let it come in. And I'm talking to China, too. I'll call President Xi. We had a deal, President Xi and I, and then we had the whole thing come in with the China virus, right? But we had a deal with President Xi. He was going to give the death penalty to anybody producing fentanyl and sending it into the United States. But, of course, when Biden took over, it didn't mean anything. Just like the Abraham Accords, we had 4 countries. I would have had that, Phil. We would have had peace in the Middle East. They didn't do anything. They just sat there with it. So, you know, we'll get it all taken care of as soon as we get in. But today I want you to hear directly from a mother whose world was absolutely shattered. This is a sad thing. I've had it for one day, and everybody that's seen it, they end up crying. Strong, tough guys, they end up crying. It's so sad, and it's emblematic of what's happening in our country. By thousands and thousands of people are being killed. This was a young, beautiful girl. Please watch.
All right, so I have to hold off while they're playing because they have like music on the videos. I'll as soon as the video ends, I will send you back. I got to be careful what they're showing on the video too, because of copyright stuff. But yeah, because I'm gonna come back to me for a second. As soon as the video is over, I will send you back to the rally. You know, thanks to B&O News, I just heard about a story I hadn't heard about before. Detroit News is reporting, and other outlets in Michigan are reporting, that a Chinese student at the University of Michigan is facing criminal charges for voting in the presidential election. This Chinese student is the Detroit News says he was a legal resident, but he's not allowed to vote. He's not a citizen. And he applied, I guess when he applied, according to the story, he said he was a citizen when he applied, when he registered to vote. So anyways, he's being charged. We'll talk about that more in between the two rallies. Okay, I just heard about that myself. Again, as soon as the video's over, I'll let you hear Trump. I just have to be careful because they'll play like music during the videos, copyrighted music, and they might play copyrighted video stuff and I don't have the rights to it. So I'm literally just watching the video here. And as soon as the video ends, I will have you back and listening to Trump again. And then after Trump finishes his rally, we're going to bring you live coverage of the Kamala Harris rally in Wisconsin, which is in Madison, Wisconsin. They're both doing rallies in Wisconsin, although unlike last night, fortunately, they're not talking at the same time, so we can hear what both of them say. Oops, there's a little thing messing up with the background here. I got to fix this after the broadcast. I know the ticker is like, there's no ticker background. What happened to the ticker background? I'll fix that. But anyways, I'm just watching the video. As soon as the video is over, I will. What is going on here? Hold on a second here. I gotta fix this. Are they back to him? They're not back to him yet. Let's see. Is this it? I fixed it there. Okay. I think we're fixed. They're still playing the video, by the way. So, but I will have an update for you after the Trump rally. We will talk about the Chinese student in Michigan facing criminal charges for voting illegally. And also another thing is that the ballot apparently will count because there's no way to get the ballot back, I guess, once it's been tabulated. It's a whole thing. I also don't know who he voted for. They're still playing this video, by the way. So as soon as the video's over, I'll take you back there. But I got to be careful with the video stuff. I should probably show you this. I mean, this is just their videos. So, actually, I'm gonna err on the side of caution. There we go. Okay, Trump speaking again. Here's Trump. Here's Trump. He's back. Hold on. Hold on.
This is what we're letting into our country, and this is times thousands, all different forms, all different ages, but by thousands and thousands of people are being killed, being mutilated. The day I take the oath of office, the migrant invasion ends, and the restoration of our country begins. Thank you. The savages charged with brutalizing and murdering Precious Jocelyn are members of the same vicious Venezuelan prison gang, Tren de Aragua, that's taking over apartment complexes and unleashing violent killing sprees all over America. They took over, as you know, in Colorado, Aurora, Colorado. They took over a big section, apartment complexes and others. And they're all over the country. They're even in Times Square in New York City now, and we're getting them the hell out. Take a look.
Open borders, deadly.
It's another video. It's another video. In the video, they sometimes play a bunch of these videos. All right, you're gonna have to listen to me again while the video is playing. I was just reading a little more about this Michigan college student from China who was not a citizen, who voted in the presidential election, and now is being charged with unauthorized elector attempting to vote and perjury, making a false affidavit for purpose of securing voter registration. That's what he's being charged with in Michigan. They're showing this again. We might have to cut back to me for a second. You all do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Oh, I can't. They made it too difficult for me. Oh, no, I can do it this way. There. I'm temporarily covering up the what they're playing. As soon as it stops playing, I'll let you hear Trump. Let's see here. I think the Harris rally, which we're also going to bring you live, starts at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's the information I have. I'm sorry I got on the air a little late today. That was my bad. But I think we'll probably do some election coverage tomorrow, unless there's other big events going on. But I mean, we're only 6 days from this election, so I do want to do some election coverage. It's obviously an extremely important election. So we'll have more election coverage too, and I'll be covering other big news as it happens. So again, I'm just waiting for the video they're playing to end, at which point I can turn the sound back on and show you Trump speaking. So I'm sorry to have to interrupt. They do this where, like, in the middle, they'll play a couple videos. And then in between, oh, here he is. Hold on. Here we go.
We have no idea who they are. They don't check them. There's no vetting. There's no nothing. They're coming in at levels that we've never seen before. Last month, I was in the beautiful small town of Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin, where police arrested a Trende Aragua gang member who crossed Kamala's wide-open border. Just come on in. And then came into your state and held a mother and daughter captive against their will and sexually assaulted them again and again and again, and did great harm to both. Just last week, an illegal alien driving an SUV hit a 60-year-old retired Green Bay police officer as he was helping two drivers by the side of the road. Instead of helping his critically injured victim, the illegal alien, who had a can of beer in his passenger seat and lots of cans of beer and plenty of other things in the car, got out of his car and ran away, leaving the retired policeman to die and bleed to death. We're praying for his family. The United States is now an occupied country, but it will soon be an occupied country no longer. November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America. And on day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history. We have no choice. It's not sustainable for any country. It's not sustainable what's happening to us. I will rescue every city and town that has been invaded and conquered. We are being invaded, and we are being conquered, just like it was a military operation. And we will put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail or kick them the hell out of our country very rapidly. To expedite removals of Trende, Aragua, and other savage gangs, I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Can you believe 1798? That's when we had people that wanted to protect their people. They had to go back a long way. To target and dismantle every migrant criminal network, and every single one of them operating on American soil. And there are many. And if they come back into our country, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole. And I am hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer. And I will immediately ban all sanctuary cities in the United States of America. They'll be banned. With their open borders, they're going to destroy your Social Security and Medicare. They're destroying your Social Security and Medicare. They are going to do it, and I don't think they care. But I'm going to save it all, and I'm going to, more importantly and most importantly, we're going to save our country. We're going to save our country. Kamala's gross incompetence. Her gross incompetence disqualifies her from being President of the United States of America. She's incompetent. Everyone knows it. No one respects her. No one trusts her. No one takes her seriously. And to make her president would be a gamble with the lives of millions and millions of people. She would get us into a third world war. She doesn't know how to talk to these people. They would laugh at her. They would laugh at her because she's so grossly incompetent to do the job. She's not going to be able to do the job. And everybody that knows her agrees that 5 months ago, they said there's no way she could be running for president. She's incompetent. And then she runs, and because she's a member of this savage machine known as the Democrat Party, and then all of your sons and daughters will end up getting drafted to fight these endless wars that we've been in. I've gotten us out of so many. I was the only president, think of this, in 82 years not to start a war. We dealt with peace through strength. Our enemies are laughing at her. If we win, America will be feared and respected again. Fear's okay. On issue after issue, Kamala broke it, and I will fix it. I will fix it, and I'll fix it fast. On top of it all, Kamala says that she would not do one thing differently from crooked Joe Biden, which in itself is disqualifying. I wouldn't do one thing differently. Take a look, please.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden?
All right, once again, they're playing a video with some music on it, so I need to hold off on playing the sound. Hey, by the way, in addition to this story, in between the rallies, after Trump rally ends and before the Harris rally coming up tonight, which we will have live coverage for you, we will update you on the story coming out of Michigan that a Chinese student at the University of Michigan has been charged with illegally voting in the election. Also, we'll give you an update on the situation with the attacks. There were, I think, 3 different attacks on ballot boxes in the Pacific Northwest United States. I want to say like last week. Well, actually, there was one a few weeks ago and maybe 2 last week. But we'll give you an update on that as well. As soon as that video stops playing and Trump starts speaking again, I will let you hear him again. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much to Mitchell Cosda. Thank you, Mitchell Cosda, for your support. Two Treed Gaming, Martin Gingrich, Nira, DJ, Bebop and Rocksteady, Ernie. Thank you so much, Ernie. Mr. Joaquim 242, Mitchell Pilot, Bebop, Matrix, Worm, and hold on a second here. Give me a moment. Trump's about to start speaking again. I don't want to miss him start speaking. I'll put the audio on as soon as he talks. Oh, here we go.
And our country is rated 87% wrong track. You know what that means? Wrong track. We're on the wrong track. The country knows it. And that's why we should have absolutely, nobody's ever had a score like that in one re-election. Nobody's ever. And she's a part of Biden. Remember, she's trying to disassociate from him so badly. She doesn't know what to do. She's torn. She doesn't know what to do. She's a part of that whole mess that we have in Washington. And I will tell you that if you want to end this disaster, you have to get out and vote. We all have to get out and vote, vote, vote. I'm thrilled to be joined by all of these great people from the Green Bay area and Wisconsin area. And again, I want to thank Brett for being here and for giving me that really incredible tribute of an endorsement. I'm not going to ask him to come up. He made such a good speech. I watched it. Brett made such a good speech. I don't know if he could do that again. Brett, you did so good. I'd let you do it again, but I think you hit it perfectly. What do you think? We love you, Brett. Thank you. We love this guy. Man, he's something. Oh, that arm. Boom, boom. What a player. What a great guy. I think he's beyond as a person. I think he might even beyond what he was as a player, but that's pretty hard to do. Thank you very much, Brett. Great honor. to your family. Thank you. We're also joined by Brett's incredible wife, Deanna, and that son is so good. He's a great soccer player. The son, Taylor, thank you very much. Look at him, he's a little shy. He's a little shy. He's a good soccer player right here, who I think is that's an incredible family. As you know, she fought breast cancer. She won her battle, and she's been an inspiration. She's been an inspiration to everybody. You have been an inspiration. I've heard that. A lot of people, they said that. Thank you, Deanna. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Also with us is another Green Bay football phenom, running back. You may know the name, Quadzilla, the Quad Father, A.J. Dillon. I got to meet him backstage. Get healthy soon, A.J. Get healthy soon. Look at this guy. I met AJ backstage. I said, this guy is a seriously good-looking athlete. We're going to watch you get better soon. You're going to be in good shape, I think. I hear great. Thank you, AJ, very much. I'd also like to thank a friend of mine for being just a great senator. Very simple. And just a fantastic person, Ron Johnson, Senator Ron Johnson. Great. He's great. And a future great one. He's going to work together. What a tandem. Eric Hovde, and he's doing terrific. Eric, you are doing well. Well, he has my complete and total endorsement, and you're doing well. I saw you're up in the polls like winning. You're winning. That's what we want. That's the guy. Tammy Baldwin is terrible, by the way. And a friend of mine, he said a long time ago, sir, 2016, he said, sir, don't come up here, sir. You can't win here. You can't win. It's a tough state. Don't come on. Tommy Thompson, right? But don't come up, sir. And I said, what do you mean, Tommy? Just don't come up. Look, if anything changes, I'll let you know and you'll come up. But don't waste your time. You have to win other states. This is 2016. I was sort of insulted, but I figured, what the hell? Who knows better than Tommy Thompson, right? About 4 weeks later, I had a couple of good weeks. I get a call. It's Tommy Thompson. Sir, it's time for you to come up. Get up here quickly. And we won Wisconsin. Tommy Thompson. You remember that, Tommy? You remember that? You remember that, Tommy? He didn't want me to come up. Then he says, sir, get your ass up here, sir. You're doing good. That's great, Tommy. Thank you. You've been a great friend of mine, actually. And we're doing well now. We're really rocking here, right? They're doing well. Thank you very much. All of you, thank you very much. And House Majority Whip, a highly respected man, a powerful man in Washington, but respected by everybody, Tom Emmer from Minnesota. Thank you. He's the Majority Whip. Majority Whip. That's big stuff. Thank you, Tom, very much. And Representatives Tom, Tiffany, my friend, and Glenn Grothman. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Glenn. Really great, great congressmen and warriors. They're both warriors. And we have another warrior, Byron Donalds. He's my great warrior, too. Great guy. All great people. Congressional candidate who's doing really well, Tony Weed. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Tony. Tony, you're doing well. He's a winner. And my son-in-law, Michael, who's helped us so much in this campaign, he's been great. I want to thank him, and I want to thank his father and the chairman of the Wisconsin Republican Party, Brian Schimming. Wow, have you been good. Brian, I got to watch his speech on the plane just coming in before I got into the garbage truck. I had a choice. What's your speech? So I delayed the garbage truck a little. You were fantastic. Thank you. We're doing well. We're going to win, Mr. Chairman, right? You're going to win. We're going to win. Thank you, Brian. Very good. Great job. So just in conclusion, here are the facts. Kamala is a radical left Marxist, rated even worse than crazy Bernie Sanders or even Pocahontas herself. Pocahontas. She destroyed our economy. She was an original creator of defund the police movement. And anybody who wants to defund the police for even 1 week or 1 day or 1 second is not worthy of being President of the United States of America. Kamala vowed to abolish ICE, our great ICE heroes. We don't have ICE, we don't get the tough ones out. These are tough people that love our country. They're incredible. And as California Attorney General, she redefined child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of an unconscious person as totally nonviolent crimes. Oh, that's nice. She pledged to confiscate your guns. Would anybody like to give up that gun? I don't think so. And endorsed a total ban on handgun ownership. No more handguns. Let her explain that one. This woman should not be running. By the way, she came in last. You know, she ran against Biden. She came in last, absolutely dead last. She got no votes. He got 14. Whether you like him or not, he got the nomination. They took it away from him like you take candy from a baby. She even called for free sex changes for illegal aliens in detention. And at taxpayer expense, by the way. And she lied about working at McDonald's. I think that's a big thing, too. With your vote this November, we are going to fire Kamala and we are going to save America. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices, raise your wages, and bring thousands of factories back to America. And in fact, we're going to bring a lot of them right back to Wisconsin with all those jobs. We will build American, we will buy American, and we will hire American. I will end the war in Ukraine. Would have never happened if I was president. Would have never. Vladimir would never have done that. I will stop the chaos in the Middle East. October 7th would have never happened. All those people would be living today. And I will prevent World War III. We will crush violent crime and give our police the support, protection, resources, and respect they so dearly deserve. We will strengthen and modernize our military. We will build a missile defense shield all around our country, all made in the USA and a lot of it made right here. We will rebuild our cities, including our capital in Washington, D.C., which is in horrible shape, making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. We will teach our children to love our country, to honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. And we will put in legislation, anybody burning the American flag, 1 year in jail. We will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our schools and fast. And we will keep men out of women's sports. I will defend religious liberty. I will restore free speech. And I will defend the right to keep and bear arms. Your Second Amendment will be safe. After years of building up foreign nations, defending foreign borders, and protecting foreign lands, we are finally going to build up our country. We're going to defend our borders, and we are going to protect our citizens. We are going to protect our land. We are going to protect our country. And we will stop illegal immigration once and for all. We will not be invaded. We will not be occupied. We will not be overrun. We will not be conquered. We will be a free and proud nation once again. We are being invaded. It's incredible. Think of it. We're being invaded by massive numbers. Very little difference between this invasion and the military. They don't wear a uniform. That's about the primary difference. Everyone will prosper. Every family will thrive, and every day will be filled with opportunity and hope and loaded up with the good old American dream. We're going to have the American dream back. But for that to happen, we must defeat Kamala Harris and stop her radical left agenda, and we have to have a landslide that is too big to rig. Gonna make it a landslide. For the past 9 years, we have been fighting against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth. With your vote this election, you can show them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. It belongs to you. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country. And 6 days from now, it is hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. You're going to save our country. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. We can do that. We can do that. It seems so unlikely. It seems unlikely, but we can do that. With your help from now until Election Day, we will restore America's promise and we will take back the nation that we love. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down, and we will never, ever surrender. Together we will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win. November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country. We're going to turn things around, and together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you, Wisconsin. God bless you all. God bless you all. Thank you.
All right, that was former President Trump in Wisconsin, in Green Bay, Wisconsin. In a little less than an hour, we're going to be hearing from Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris. And yes. Ooh, hold on. I think we have Harris right now. Oh, I have actually. As soon as this ends, we're going to go to video, but not necessarily audio yet, because Harris is not speaking yet. But we actually have video from the Madison, Wisconsin rally. All right. So when we'll watch Trump leave, and then I'll switch to the video of the other thing. By the way, quick thanks to DJ and Ricky Graybill and Nira for the gift memberships. Thank you, Nira. Ellen Zen, Mitchell Kazda, and Evie1973. Also, shout out to Ivory John and Fish Tacos for subscribing on Twitch. Want to thank our moderators while I have a second here. I really appreciate our moderators. A Moment of Lovely, Big Ball of Yarn, McBritches and Surly Dev on Twitch, on YouTube. Cynthia Moon, thanks so much, Cynthia. Ruth Krafasi, RJ, they are all there. Misunderstood, thank you so much. Beth Mythical. And Linda Belk and Larry on X and on Facebook. As Trump walks off, Thanks to our Facebook mods as Mel, Ronald Egnor, Margaret Riley. Thank you for modding over there. All of our mods there. Thank you. Kay Lowry Body as well. Thank you. So Trump is... Oh, and thank you to DJ for the gift memberships. Thank you so much, DJ. All right. So Trump is leaving now, but now we're going to go over to... And I can't play the music because I don't have the rights to the music, but I'm going to show you live video from... It just all of a sudden started playing. Okay, this is not Green Bay. This is Madison, Wisconsin. And I got to change the headline. Coming up, Harris speaks live in Wisconsin. Rewind to hear Trump. Is that weird to put on? Is that weird to put on the headline? I just want people to know that they can rewind to hear Trump. Okay. So they're having like some musicians play at it's like a concert before the Harris thing. So we'll talk, but I'll leave the video up. Let me just fix the headline a little more. Hang on a second here. Hang on a moment here. We'll do this. Get this. Oops. Okay. There we go. So that's in Madison. Mumford and Sons. KJ, I believe you're right. Unless it's like the guy from Mumford and Sons and other people. I'll assume it's the same band. All right. Our viewer, Jeff Peff, says, it's a hootenanny. Hey, thanks to Allie B. from Tennessee for the gift memberships. Let me... I'm confusing myself. Give me a moment here. Let me just get myself organized. All right, so we got the rally up. Harris is going to speak, I think, in about 45 minutes, although maybe she'll speak sooner, actually. I don't even know when she's speaking. She might speak sooner. But this is in Madison, Wisconsin. And let's see. I wanted to talk to you guys about this story about the person who was arrested at the University of Michigan. Well, the University of Michigan student... Oh, hold on. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can play some of this audio. Oh, no, there's still music. I was going to play him speaking. If there's a speaker beforehand with no music, I can play that. Let's see. They're playing music. They're playing music. See the sign? It says vote early. Vote early. Do I have two cameras from there or one? Let me just make sure I have the right camera on. Whoa. Music. Okay, I do have the right camera. That is the correct camera. That is the correct camera. Vote early, Madison, Wisconsin. We need to talk about the University of Michigan student who has been charged with crimes for voting in the election, even though he wasn't a citizen. Okay, let's talk about that. Much smaller, one of our viewers said. Yeah, this is a different vibe than the other rally. We don't know who he voted for. There's no way of knowing who he voted for. I mean, I guess he could say who he voted for. By the way, thanks to Steve Griffiths for the gift memberships. All right, let's talk about the story. It's an interesting story while we're waiting for... while we're waiting for Harris to come out. Hang on one second here. Hang on a second here. So according to the Detroit News, let me tell you what the Detroit News said. Well, first of all, the Michigan Department of State said that following an alleged violation of the law involving a non-U.S. citizen voting at an Ann Arbor, Michigan early voting site on Sunday. This Sunday, it happened 3 days ago, the Washtenaw County Prosecutor's Office has authorized criminal charges of 1, unauthorized elector attempting to vote, and 2, making a false affidavit for purpose of securing voter registration. All charges are allegations only, and defendants are presumed innocent unless proven guilty. Only U.S. citizens can register and vote in our elections. It is illegal to lie on any registration forms or voting applications about one's citizenship status. Doing so is a felony. We are grateful for the swift action of the clerk in this case, who took the appropriate steps and referred the case to law enforcement. We are also grateful to law enforcement for swiftly and thoroughly investigating the case. Anyone who attempts to vote illegally faces significant consequences, including but not limited to arrest and prosecution. So this person is now charged with a felony. Michigan Department of State also says non-citizen voting is an extremely isolated and rare event. Investigations in multiple states and nationwide have found no evidence of large numbers of non-citizens registering to vote. Even less common is a non-citizen actually casting a ballot. When it does happen, we take it extremely seriously. Our elections are secure, and Michigan state and local election officials carefully follow the law. Our duty to the law is paramount, as is our responsibility to ensure every eligible voter is able to register and cast a ballot. Let this be clear, says the... Oh, hold on a second. Are they talking? Is somebody speaking? Wait. No, there's music. There's music. There's music playing. The Michigan Department of State also says, let this be clear, voting records are public. Any non-citizen who attempts to vote fraudulently in Michigan will be exposing themselves to great risk and will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. So that's what the Michigan Department of State said. Let's see if they said anything else. So the Detroit News. Oh wait, is somebody speaking? One more moment here. No, they're playing. I bet they're playing "Hot to Go," and I'm not even listening to it. They must be playing Chapel? Is it Chappell-Roan or Chapel? Isn't it Chappell-Roan? They must be playing "Hot to Go" because everybody's doing the "Hot to Go" dance. So that'd be my guess. Envy said they're all college kids. Is this at you? Is it Wisconsin Madison? I didn't even double check that. Let's see here. The rally is at, well, oh, that was, so Gracie Abrams has performed, Mumford & Sons performed, and the Remy Wolf is supposed to be performing. I don't know. Oh, this is the Alliant Energy Center. According to greenbay.com, wearegreenbay.com says this is the Alliant Energy Center just south of downtown. You know, it might be it looks like a smaller venue, but it actually might be like a big venue. Alliant Energy Center is a big place. But I don't know if it's a small part of it or a big part of it. Let's see. 10,000 people. Are they still playing music? That would be a yes. They're still playing music. Envy says it's a large concert type hall. So they're still playing music there. But the Nationals, Matt Berninger and Aaron Dessner are playing. I like the National. I don't know if it's Matt Berninger or Matt Berninger. All right, is she speaking or no? They're still playing music. By the way, thank you so much to Chris K. Hey, thank you, Chris K. That's really nice of you. Thank you, Chris K. Also, Danielle, our new member, and Shameless Senpai for the gift membership, and Ellen Zen. Thanks, Ellen Zen. And Jeff Peff, our new member, and Double Denim. Yeah, we'll do a poll at some point. We're not going to do the who do you want to vote for, because that's just a divisive popularity contest. And it's not even like a representative audience. So I have no real interest in doing that. We'll do a poll at some point. Thank you, Steve Griffiths. No, everybody says do a Trump-Kamala poll. No, why do I want to do that? Why do I want to do a divisive poll when it's an audience it has not been selected to be a representative audience? So I really don't have any interest in doing a divisive popularity contest, which isn't even claiming to be a representative poll. So no, we're not going to be doing that. But thank you. I appreciate it. It's just we're not doing that here. But what was I going to say? Oh, I have a poll. Will we know the outcome on election night? That's a good question. Or will it take multiple days? No, wait until I post the question, then you can vote. Now you can vote on it because I'm just posting the question right now. What I gotta do? I gotta do this. Sorry, this is messing me up. Put this over here, put this over here. Everything's moved from where I normally have it, and it's messing with me. I'll post the poll on Twitch as well. I haven't even gotten to talk about that story. I want to tell you more about the Chinese student story. I wonder if I'll even get to it before Kamala Harris comes out. It kind of looks like she's coming out next, right? It kind of looks like the music is done and she's coming out next. That's my guess. All right, let's see what people say. Over there on YouTube, the question is, will we know on election night? So sometime before the night's over, including the next morning. Oops, I just messed something up again. Hold on a second. I always mess things up. Oops, I know there's a big white blob in the middle of the screen. Please ignore the big white blob while I get rid of it. There we go. All right, hold on. Let me just get you this. Okay, on YouTube, they say no. 59% say no, we will not know the outcome on election night. It would need to be a pretty clear victory one way or the other to know it on election night. If it's really close, we probably won't know it on election night. And then on Twitch, 69% say, 70% say no on Twitch. You never know. So 70% say no on Twitch and 58% say no on YouTube. "6 days from now, guys. By the way, thanks to L. Kearney-ish for your support. Yeah, you know, there's been so much news from the Middle East. We've been covering it so much, and I think for good reason. But this is an important election, so I do want to do some election coverage. I mean, it's really important. So I'm sorry if we can't cover everything every day, but I hope you understand. Did I thank Shameless Senpai? Thanks, Shameless Senpai, for the gift membership. Hang on. I'm going to wrap up the polls here. Thanks for voting. So most of you think, clear majority think we're not going to know election night. All right. So we are waiting right now for Harris to come out and speak. If you missed the Trump speech, you can rewind it. Hey, thanks to Dino Nuggies for the bits on Twitch. Thanks Dundee Man for subscribing on Twitch. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. Here, give me a moment. Give me a moment. Thanks for keeping it respectful and civil in the chat. Just keep it respectful, please. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so I do want to mention this. According to the Detroit News, where did they get this statement? They have all this information from the Michigan Secretary of State's office about this story about the person who was charged with illegally voting. But I wish I could get the statement myself. They somehow got a statement from them. Let me just see if I can find it. Hold on. All right, let me tell you what the Detroit News said. The Detroit News said that according to the Michigan Secretary of State's office, there was this 19-year-old University of Michigan student who's from China, and he's a legal resident. He's legally in the U.S., but he's not a citizen, okay? And the Secretary of State's office said he actually voted in the presidential election on Sunday, which he's not allowed to do because he's not a citizen. According to the Detroit News, he registered to vote on Sunday when he voted, and he used his Michigan student identification, and he had other documents which showed which were evidence of being a resident in Ann Arbor. Because I mean, he is living. I guess he's living there. It sounds like he's living there. He's just not a citizen. He also, according to the Detroit News, he signed a document that said he was a U.S. citizen. That's one of the things he's being charged with. So he registered to vote on Sunday. Prosecutors say he lied about being a U.S. citizen. And I'm keeping my eye on this. I don't see Kamala Harris yet. And then he voted on Sunday. Now, the other thing is, it sounds like the vote is going to count. Now, you might say, why is the vote going to count? The Detroit News says that they have a system. Oh, hold on. Wait a second here. We have a speaker.
Madison! How's everyone doing tonight? Good? Yeah. All right, well, my name is Ty, and I'm a junior here at UW-Madison. Yeah? And just to level with you guys, I had to leave my English midterm early to get here on time, but believe me, it is so worth it to be able to be here with all of you to help welcome the Vice President of the United States to Madison. And I'm here today because our future is at stake. In less than a week, every single person in this room will help chart a new way forward by electing Kamala Harris. And yeah, I just grew up in Tomah, Wisconsin. It's a rural community. Yeah. It's a rural community where folks don't necessarily always agree on things as when it comes to politics. But what we do agree on is that we need a leader in the White House who will fight for us and who will share our values. Yep. And Donald Trump does not care about students like me and students like many of you. He is responsible for making it so that our sisters, friends, and neighbors have fewer rights than our parents did. He doesn't care if we're saddled with student debt when we graduate, and he will continue to shell out big tax breaks for big oil executives as they pollute our planet while reaping massive benefits. The good news is that we have the power to choose a different future. We've got a candidate who has a plan to take on student debt, to protect kids from gun violence, and to ensure that everybody has the freedom to make their own healthcare decisions. And you guys all know this, but that candidate is Kamala Harris. And as I'm sure many of you know, early voting is already underway here in Wisconsin. And it's super, super easy to join your friends and go out and cast your ballot. I have already gone to Memorial Union and voted early for Vice President Kamala Harris. Yeah. And along with her, Democrats up and down the ballot, because it's just too much, there's too much at stake to just sit this one out this year. And I'm encouraging everyone in this room, take out your phones, head to vote.wisdems.org, and find an early voting center that is convenient for you. Yep. And guys, really the only thing easier than making a plan to vote and finding where to vote was choosing which bubble I was going to fill out on that ballot. It's Kamala Harris. Yep. So, without further ado, it is my honor to introduce the woman who will stop Donald Trump in his tracks, our next president of the United States, Vice President Kamala Harris.
All right, I can't play the Beyonce song, so as soon as here's Kamala Harris coming out on stage, we will hear her speak. As soon as she starts speaking, I will play it. I cannot play the Beyonce song, so I will wait until that's over. Just like I can't play the Proud to Be an American song when Trump comes up. All right, so and then after we will talk about election stuff, get you some election updates. After. So stick around after. We'll take your comments on the air. Really appreciate all of our moderators. Oh, thank you to DJ for your support. Thank you, DJ. All right. So again, as soon as the music stops, we will hear from Kamala Harris. Thank you also, Ellen Zen, for your support. Is she speaking yet? Let's see. Nope, they're still playing the music. They are still playing the music. Let's see.
Wisconsin! Let's hear it for Ty! All right, Madison, are we ready to do this? Are we ready to vote? Are we ready to win? Oh, it's good to be back in Madison. It's good to be back. And many of you may know, when I was 5 years old, my parents taught at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And so for a time, my sister Maya and I lived not far from here in a house on Lake Mendota. So it's good to be back, and it is good to be with so many incredible leaders. And I first of all want to thank everybody who is here right now for taking the time you have taken to be here. I also want to thank our governor of Wisconsin, Governor Evers. Thank you always. Every time I land, he says, "Welcome home." Senator Baldwin, a champion for working families. Representative Pocan, Mayor Rhodes Conway, Mandela Barnes, and can we hear it for our amazing musicians, Gracie Abrams, Remy Wolf, The National, and Mumford and Sons. All right, so Madison, early voting has started. Here in Madison, you can vote early now through Sunday, November 3rd. And we need you to vote early, Wisconsin, because we have 6 days left in one of the most consequential elections of our lifetime, and we have work to do. But we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work is joyful work. And make no mistake, we will win. We will win. Yes, we will. We will win. And I will tell you, we will win. We will win because when you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for. And we know we have an opportunity in, hey, you know what? Listen, we all want the war in Gaza to end and get the hostages out as soon as possible, and I will do everything in my power to make it heard and known, and everyone has a right to be heard, but right now I am speaking. Opportunity in this election to turn the page on a decade of Donald Trump trying to keep us divided and afraid of each other. That is who he is, but Madison, that is not who we are. And folks are exhausted and want it to stop the pointing fingers. It is time that we start locking arms together as a people who rise and fall together. And it is time for a new generation of leadership in America. That leadership as the next President of the United States. And Wisconsin, you know me. I'm not afraid of tough fights. For decades as a prosecutor and a top law enforcement officer of our biggest state, I won fights. I won fights. Against the big banks that ripped off homeowners, against for-profit colleges that scammed veterans and students, against predators who abused women and children, against cartels that trafficked in guns and drugs and human beings. And Wisconsin, if you give me the chance to fight on your behalf as president, there is nothing in the world that will stand in my way of fighting for you. And here's the thing. We know who Donald Trump is. This is not someone who is thinking about how to make your life better. This is someone who is unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievance, and out for unchecked power. And in less than 90 days, it's either going to be him or me in the Oval Office. And here's what you know, and here's what we know. If he is elected, it's not going to happen, but if he were elected, on day one, Donald Trump would walk into that office with an enemies list. You know, he talks about the enemies from within. When I am elected, I will walk in with a to-do list focused on your needs. And at the top of my list is bringing down your cost of living. That will be my focus every single day as president. I will give a middle-class tax cut to over 100 million Americans. We will enact the first ever federal ban on corporate price gouging on groceries. We will fight to make sure hardworking Americans can actually afford a place to live. And if any of you out there are caring for an elderly parent, well, my plan will cover the cost of home care under Medicare, so that seniors can get the help and care they need to stay in their own homes. It's about dignity. It's about dignity. And my plan will lower the cost of child care, cut taxes for small businesses. Do we have any small business owners here? I love our small businesses. My plan will lower health care costs because, by the way, I believe access to health care should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it. It's about values. It's about values. On the other hand, Donald Trump's answer to the financial pressures you face, well, it's the same as it was last time. Another $1 trillion in tax cuts for billionaires and big corporations. Right. And this time, he will pay for it with a 20% national sales tax on everything you buy that is imported. Clothes, food, toys, cell phones. A Trump sales tax would cost the average American family nearly $4,000 more a year. And on top of that, you would pay even more if Donald Trump finally gets his way and gets rid of the Affordable Care Act. Remember how many times he's tried to do that. And you're booing because if he were successful, it would throw millions of Americans off of their health insurance and take us back to when insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions. You remember what that was like? Well, we are not going back. We're not going back. Just like Wisconsin's state motto tells us, we will move forward. Because ours is a fight for the future, and it is a fight for freedom. Freedom. Like the fundamental freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. Trump was president, he hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. They did as he intended, and now in America, 1 in 3 women lives in a state with a Trump abortion ban, many with no exceptions even for rape and incest, which is immoral. Immoral. And look, Donald Trump's not done. He would ban abortion nationwide. Yes, even here in Wisconsin. And he would restrict access to birth control, put IVF treatments at risk, and force states, listen to this, force states to monitor women's pregnancies. Just Google Project 2025. Read the plans yourself, and I know we all here know one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree. The government shouldn't be telling her what to do with her body. Not the government. Not the government. Not the government. And when Congress, together with Tammy's help, when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom nationwide, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. So, Wisconsin, I am asking for your vote. And here is my pledge to you. As president, I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions to the challenges you face. I am not looking to score political points. I am looking to make progress. And I pledge I know we can make progress. And I pledge then to listen to experts, to those who will be impacted by the decisions I make, and to people who disagree with me. Because look, unlike Donald Trump, I don't believe people who disagree with me are the enemy. He wants to put them in jail. I'll give them a seat at my table. I pledge to always put country above party and self, and to be a president for all Americans. So it all comes down to this. We are here together for many reasons, but one of the most important, we are here together because we love our country. We love our country. We love our country. And when you love something, you fight for it. I do believe that one of the highest forms of patriotism, of our expression for the love of our country, is to fight for the ideals of our country and to fight to realize the promise of America. I have always believed in our nation's promise because I have lived it. I grew up as a child of the Civil Rights Movement. My parents would take me to the marches when I was in a stroller, where people from every walk of life came together to fight for freedom and for opportunity. Growing up, I saw how hard my mother worked to give her daughters the same chances our country gave her. And I was blessed to have family by blood and family by love, who instilled in me the values of community and compassion and faith. I've spent my life fighting for people who have been hurt or who have been counted out, but who never stop believing that in our country anything is possible. I have lived the promise of America. And today I see the promise of America in all of you, in all of you, in everyone here. I see it in the women who refuse to accept a future without reproductive freedom. And the men who support them. I see it in the fathers and mothers who work hard every day for their children's future. I see it in Republicans who never voted for a Democrat before, but put the Constitution of the United States over party. And every day I see the promise of America in all the young leaders who are voting for the first time. Generation. I just love you guys. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. One of the reasons is you all are rightly impatient for change. Rightly. You, who have only known the climate crisis, are leading the charge to protect our planet and our future. You, who grew up with active shooter drills, are fighting to keep our schools safe. You who now know fewer rights than your mothers and grandmothers, are standing up for freedom. And what I know about you is these issues are not theoretical. This is not political for you. This is your lived experience. And I see you, and I see your power. I see your power, and I am so proud of you. Can we hear it for our first-time voters? So, Wisconsin. Okay, we got 6 days to get this thing done. And no one can sit on the sidelines. So let's spend the next 6 days so that when we look backward after the 6th day, we will know we did everything we could, okay? So now is the time to knock on doors, to text, to call, to reach out to family and friends and classmates and co-workers and neighbors. And as we do, here's my request. As we do all of that, let's be intentional about building community. And let's be intentional about building coalitions. Let's remember that the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. And let's approach this. Let's approach this with that spirit. And with the spirit of, in the face of a stranger, seeing a neighbor. Let's do it that way, okay? Let's do it that way. And let us remember that your vote is your voice, and your voice is your power. So, Madison, today I ask you, are Are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
All right, so that was Kamala Harris speaking in Madison, Wisconsin. We saw her speak in Madison, Wisconsin. A little before that, we saw former President Trump speak in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So we got to see both of them speak. And we'll watch her walk off. I'm going to take some comments from you guys, bring you a few more updates. There she goes. There she goes. Keep an eye on it. Appreciate you guys tuning into Agenda Free TV. We're only 6 days away from the election. I think it's weird to say 6 days until the election because, I mean, so many people have voted already. I think over 50 million people have voted. So, I mean, the election's taking place now. 6 days to like vote last day and vote count starts day. 6 days till vote count starts day. By the way, quick thank you to Ellen Zen and Jessica McAllister and MetaGuide and DJ for your support. Really nice of you. And also Relila on Twitch, Moontaze, and Margaret Riley on Patreon. Thanks so much, Margaret. That's super nice of you, our mod, Margaret. Thanks for your support on Patreon. Very kind of you, Margaret. Thanks also to Ascertainment and Dundee Man 1 over there on Twitch. We can see she is still there. Looks like having some pictures taken. Yes, it is next Tuesday. We will, of course, have results coverage. But we're going to be doing some coverage before then. I like being able to see both of them speak. Hey, Rick D, that's so nice of you, Rick D. Thank you, Rick, for your support. It's so close, guys. It's 6 days away. After all of the lead up to it, after years of lead up, it's 6 days away. Rita says it feels like an eternity. So ready for this election cycle to be over. He is risen says, I'm going to vote the day of. Crazy. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, if you're America and you're registered to vote, go vote. Go vote. Barry says, can't wait for this to be over. Something I've noticed this election cycle, as we see her there, I don't know that maybe in past elections, I might have once in a while gotten a spam election text message on my phone. I have been getting so many spam election messages on my phone. It's amazing. I don't know about you guys, but amazing not in a good way. I've been getting so many of them. Shonley says same. Moist Owlet says out of control. A bunch of our viewers have too. Ruth Krafasi, Fred, Alice Wonderland. And I never really got them before, but there's so many this year. And I'm not even in a battleground state. Chris N says, yeah, a bunch of our viewers. Erin Vanessa gets them. A lot of our viewers are getting them. Hey, thank you, Martin Gingrich, for your support. Martin says, I get a bunch. You know, a lot of them ask for donations. I don't even know if they're legit. I can't even tell if they're even legitimate, like PACs or not. I can't even tell. I mean, I just delete them. Or I report them. I report them as junk, as spam. But man, there is a lot of them. If you haven't been getting them, you're lucky. Consider yourself lucky. We're just watching her walk, the vice president walk out. We'll watch this. Then we'll talk some more. What is this here? Hey, there's a baby. Look, there's a baby there. It's a baby with headphones. Guys, it's a baby with what do they call them? Like the ear protectors. It's a baby with ear protectors. I don't know if it's technically earmuffs, because I think earmuffs are to keep the ears warm. It's hearing protection, I believe. Somebody was holding up their baby. A lot of phones. Look at all the phones. Look at all the phones. Yeah, it's probably loud in there. All right, hang on a second here. There's more rallies tomorrow. We may do some more coverage tomorrow. I got to figure out what's happening when. But I mean, we're so close to the election now, you know. Maybe I can take off my headphones now. Things it might pause for a second while I take off my headphones. Give me a moment here. Might pause for a second. All right, we're back. I think we're back. We're back. Okay, good. That's better. There she is, saying some more hellos. We're going to talk a little bit about we're going to update you on the Michigan student who got charged from China, who is now charged with multiple charges in Michigan for voting, even though he is not a citizen. The state of Michigan prosecutors say that he, well, actually, it's the county prosecutors, but it's this Department of State, which controls elections. They say that this student fraudulently registered to vote, claiming he was a citizen, and lied on his application, and then actually cast a ballot. And now he's charged, facing felony charges. At least one of the two is a felony charge. I don't know who he voted for. No idea. I don't know why he did it. We'll talk about that a little bit. Then I want to give you an update on the ballot box. The person who there was several ballot boxes attacked in the last few weeks in Northwest U.S. So we'll talk about that a bit too. Oh, why does his vote still count? I didn't have time to explain that. According to the Detroit News, what they say is that there's no way to figure out what ballot was his now that it's been tabulated. And the Detroit News says that is because they want to prevent ballots from being tracked back to a voter. They don't want people to be able to go back and like find the data of who individual people voted for. Like, it's one thing to have a record of what each vote is. It's another thing to have a record of what each person who each person voted for, if that makes sense, by name. So I guess the system is set up so that they can track the votes and check votes, but what they can't do is go back and say, oh, John Smith, you voted for this person. So now maybe it's like randomized to a number or something, like an ID or something. But anyways, it's not a detailed explanation in the Detroit News article, but what they say is that once it's been put through a tabulator, you can't go back and figure out like, who is John Smith? Get me John Smith's vote back. So anyways, so it's going to count apparently. I don't know that they did a press conference or something on that. It's an interesting story. Hey, she's still walking out. She's saying a lot of hellos. Look at this. A lot of hellos there. I think this must be a lot of, this is in Madison, so I get the feeling it's a lot of University of Wisconsin-Madison students. Hey, thanks so much to Rick D for the gift memberships. That's so nice of you, Rick D. Thank you. Also, Dean R. Thanks, Dean R, for your support. I do not have a Halloween colored tie, Dean. I'm sorry. Thank you also, Joan Schick. Joan Schick says, Joel Schick. I'm sorry, Joel. Joel Schick said, I participated in a phone bank tonight, reaching out to undecided voters in Wisconsin. Real people having real conversations. Very healthy dialogue. Nice. I like healthy dialogue, Joel. Nice. See, Joel. See how Joel did it in the chat? He's talking about the election. He's talking about the undecided voters, but it's not toxic. He's not even saying who he was calling for. Isn't that nice? Nice job, Joel. We're going to give you some more updates here. Art Attack said, I, along with 4,000 people in my county, are being given a second chance to revote to a ballot misprint. I haven't heard about that. One of our viewers, Who Shot JR, said, I live in Wisconsin and there are very few yard signs up for either candidate, least I've ever seen. Where I am, there aren't many, but who knows if that's representative, She is still there. Both hold Wisconsin rallies tonight. I'm just going to say 6 days election. 6 days left until election. Put that up there. She's taking a lot of time to say hi to people. Let me just fix the headline here. Jojo AM says she's a people person. I don't know if that's, I mean, I feel like everything has, is thought out. So maybe there's a certain time they plan on doing it, both the candidates, when they say hi to people. All right, so let me go back. We're going to go back to me now. We're going to go back to me. Let me just get the headline up. I got to fix the headline. Look, there we are. All right, so that was Harris. I want to talk a little bit about I want to take some of your comments, and I want to talk about the story about the person in Michigan who voted illegally, according to the authorities, and the ballot box, the damaged ballot boxes in the Pacific Northwest. By the way, look at this, by the way. Police say hold on. Police say the man behind ballot box fires has metalworking experience and might plan more attacks. Wow. Hey, let me say a quick thanks to our moderators. Really appreciate our moderators being here. We have Roberts May Queen on YouTube. Thank you, Beth Mythical, Ruth Krafasi. Thank you, Sarah55 and RJ over there on YouTube. Thanks so much. We have on Twitch. Oh, you know what? I realized I switched up everything. That's why I was confused. Everything was in the wrong place. We have on Twitch, we have A Moment of Lovely, Big Ball of Yarn, and Surly Dev. Thank you. And also thanks to Ma Florida 22 on Twitch for giving out 2 gift subs. That's super nice of you. Thank you. Over on Facebook, we have Kay Lowry Body, Ronald Egnor, Margaret Riley, Paul Anderson. Thanks for being there to our mods over there. Linda Belk and Larry on X. Thank you. How did they know this person is a man? Said our viewer, he is risen. Let's check a little of this out. This is from AP. Police say the man behind ballot box fires has metalworking experience and might plan more attacks. The man suspected of setting fires in ballot drop boxes in Oregon and Washington State is an experienced metal worker and may be planning additional attacks, authorities said today. Investigators believe the man who set the incendiary devices at ballot boxes in Portland, Oregon, and nearby Vancouver, Washington, had a wealth of experience in metal fabrication and welding, said the Portland Police Bureau spokesperson. The way the devices were constructed and the way they were attached to the metal drop boxes showed that expertise. Authorities described the suspect as a white man aged 30 to 40 who is balding or has very short hair. Now, I know they have video of his car from one of the attacks because they've put out video. They've put out photos. I'm sorry, photos of the car. It looks like surveillance video. So maybe they have a surveillance camera shot of him. Police previously said surveillance video showed the man driving a black or dark-colored 2001 to 2004 Volvo S60. The vehicle did not have a front license plate, but it did have a rear plate with unknown letters or numbers. The incendiary devices were marked with the message, "Free Gaza." I didn't know that. The incendiary devices were marked with the message, "Free Gaza." According to law enforcement official who spoke to Associated Press. A third device placed at a different drop box in Vancouver earlier this month also carried the words "Free Palestine" in addition to "Free Gaza." I hadn't even heard these. I haven't even heard this part. I got to I got to post that. I'm going to post that right now. The incendiary devices attached to that were used to attack ballot drop boxes in Vancouver and Washington, Portland, said "Free Gaza" on. Were marked with the message "Free Gaza." The incendiary devices used to attack ballot drop boxes in Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, were marked with the message "Free Gaza," according to AP. So I just posted that because I hadn't seen that before. So again, the incendiary devices used to attack the ballot drop boxes in Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon were marked with the message "Free Gaza," according to a law enforcement official. A third device placed at a different drop box in Vancouver this month also carried the words "Free Palestine" in addition to "Free Gaza." Investigators are trying to identify the person responsible and the motive for the suspected arson attacks, which damaged or destroyed hundreds of ballots at the drop box in Vancouver, Washington, Monday, when the box's fire suppression system did not work as intended. Authorities are trying to figure out whether the suspect actually had pro-Palestinian views or used the message to try to create confusion. Again, authorities are trying to figure out whether the suspect actually had pro-Palestinian views or used the message to try to create confusion. Interesting. Surveillance images captured a Volvo pulling up to a drop box in Portland just before security personnel discovered a fire inside the box on Monday. The early morning fire was extinguished quickly thanks to the box's suppression system and a nearby security guard. Just 3 of the ballots inside the Portland drop box were damaged. The ballot box in Vancouver that burned also had a fire suppression system inside, but it failed to prevent hundreds of ballots from being scorched. Election staff were able to identify 488 damaged ballots retrieved from that box. And as of Tuesday night, 345 of those voters had contacted the county auditor's office to request a replacement ballot. Well, that's good. The office will mail 143 ballots to the rest of the identified voters on Thursday. 6 of those 488 ballots were unidentifiable. And the office said the exact number of destroyed ballots wasn't known, as some may have burned completely to ash. Wow. Tis what it is says, how is this even happening? Shouldn't they be protected at all times? So, first of all, I believe, I can't say for sure, but I know a lot of these boxes are under surveillance. And I believe at least one of these boxes was, because they have surveillance footage. But one of the stories I read about this a day or two ago said that for like in this county or in the counties involved, they are now taking extra protections. I think maybe in Washington, in Vancouver, Washington, they're going to like literally have somebody watching the box the entire time, like a person. But also they said, I think that they're going to, maybe at least in Washington, they're going to empty them. They're not going to have ballots sitting overnight. They're going to like empty them at the end of the day each day or something like that. Change that timing. I'll try to get you some more on that. I have some photos here too. Hold on. So that is the box that was damaged in Vancouver, Washington. That's the box where hundreds of ballots burned. Justin Avery says the one with the cameras was at a bus transfer station. This is the one in Vancouver, Washington. Here, this is from AP. That is a newly installed one in Portland, I guess, to replace the previous damaged one. Oops, right there. Damaged bin that was part of the. That was in a damaged bin that was in a ballot drop box. Okay. A damaged ballot drop box. I think that's one from Portland there. So they believe one guy attacked 3 different drop boxes. This is ballots damaged in a drop box in Vancouver, Washington are spread out on tables. Look at that. There they are. There are the ballots. There are the ballots. I guess a lot of them. They said they've contacted about 340 of the 480 people whose ballots were in that box. No, about 340 people have contacted them. So they're doing their best to get everybody replacement ballots. Let me just see what else is said. I was almost done with the article. Election staff on Wednesday plan to sort through the damaged ballots for information about who cast them in the hopes that those voters can be given replacement ballots. Authorities in Portland said enough material from the incendiary devices was recovered to show that the 2 fires were connected. And so I think both of these boxes were lit on fire on, I think, the same day, I believe it was. I believe that's what happened. But they said that the evidence shows that those 2 fires were connected, and they were also connected to an October 8th incident when an incendiary device at a different ballot drop box in Vancouver was set. No ballots were damaged in that incident. Wow, it's just crazy. I should let me just get you the I kind of want to download the photo just so you can see the photo of the ballots more up close. I think that's an interesting photo. Hang on. I'm going to show you a bigger version of the 2 ballot photos. Oopsie. Okay, here is... Oops, can't see it yet. You can't see it yet. You'll see it in a second. Here is a picture from AP. Those are damaged ballots. Look at that. There's another picture with the damaged ballots from Vancouver, Washington. I believe the Vancouver, Washington ballot box is from a race that's like it's like a battleground race. It's supposed to be a very close race. Aaron Coe says that is horrible. Barb Jones says this is ridiculous no matter who you are voting for. Also, I'm guessing, like, I'm not a legal expert. I'm guessing this person, assuming they're caught, could face serious jail time for this. A seat for your thoughts says you would think welding and cutting on a ballot box would draw attention and not get away. I don't know how much welding and cutting was done on the ballot box, though. Well, there's probably some. I don't know. I don't know how they were attached. It's a good question. E-Oddity says we need him arrested. If he starts making those to hurt people, it would be devastating. Do your work, FBI. I can show you the photo of the photos that were put out of the car, of the person's car. News and media, press releases. Here. Oh, $2,500 reward available. Multnomah County Sheriff's Office says tips sought in ballot box fires, $2,500 reward available. Portland Police is providing a description of the suspect and an updated description of the suspect vehicle. Oh, they have the picture there too. Caucasian male, 30 to 40 years of age, a very short hair or balding, thin to medium build, thin face, wearing a dark shirt, highly knowledgeable in both metal fabrication and welding. Suspect vehicle most likely a 2001 to 2004 Volvo S60, more matte in color than a standard shiny finish in places, tan or light gray interior. Aftermarket grille with Volvo emblem missing, dark wheels, unpainted body trim, no front license plate. $2,500 reward available. For intention, this person is believed to have intentionally set fires to ballot boxes in Southeast Portland and Vancouver, Washington. Where is the other picture? Hold on. There, that's a picture of the car. That's a picture of the car at the, I believe that's from the Portland ballot box that was damaged. Jesse's girl says he's going to get caught. I mean, I would think with that kind of description of the car, that's a pretty specific description. Amy Shannon says they will find that car, very specific characteristics and lots of video. And also, it may not be, but I would think it's likely it's somebody local. Stickler for Change thinks the neighbor of the guy knows who it is. Jim Farrell thinks it's going to happen everywhere now. Well, hopefully there's not copycats. But again, this is a crime. Waltham says they will be caught. Dean Alien thinks there will be more of this nonsense. Greenmar says he's totally getting caught. His mugshot is out? I hadn't heard that. I hadn't seen that. I'm not aware of a mugshot. Oh, you mean like it's not? It wouldn't be a mugshot because nobody's been arrested. But I thought you meant something like an old picture of him that they have. No photo of him has been released, I believe. By the way, thank you, Martin Gingrich. Martin thinks drop boxes are a less secure way to vote. All I can tell you is, I mean, I believe there's a lot of records of this, and that, I mean, I think Washington and Oregon might do it this way. They might be vote by mail states. And there's lots of data on this, and they don't have records of widespread problems. States with all mail elections. Hold on. I have to look this up. I forgot about it. Yeah, voting in Oregon. Look, Multnomah County. Look, guys, if I'm pronouncing this right. What is vote by mail? In Oregon, in 1998, voters passed a ballot measure directing all elections in Oregon to be conducted by mail, commonly called vote by mail. Instead of going to traditional polling places, where voters go to cast ballots on election day, a ballot is mailed to each registered voter. The ballot is then returned to the county elections office and is counted on election day. Now, Teresa says you can vote in person if you want. Oregon, vote 1-1. Yes, you can say, hold on, it says upcoming election dates. Let's see. Find your polling place. Just trying to find a simple explanation here. Yeah, vote by mail. Oregon has a vote by mail process. Instead of using traditional polling places, a ballot is mailed. None of this says you can go vote in person there. This literally says on the, this is vote411.org. Well, so I don't know about that. I thought that was a state site. How about the state site? Let's see what the state site says. Learn about vote by mail. Oregon has the most convenient voting system in the country. Since adopting vote by mail, Oregon consistently ranks as a national leader in voter turnout and security. Ballots must be received or mailed with a valid postmark. Yeah, you can mail the ballot or drop it off at any official drop box. That makes it sound like you can't vote in person. That you have to just, I mean, maybe you can go to the drop box and fill it out there or something. But according to the state website, it says it's all by mail there. Lord Cogg says it's been going on since the 1990s. Anonymous said I voted electronically by email in Washington State. I got to check out how Washington is. Snohomish County, Washington says Washington is a vote-by-mail state. Every voter is sent a ballot for each election in which they are eligible. We no longer have polling places. We do offer accessible voting sites for those who can benefit from a ballot marking device. So they no longer have polling places. Interesting. Hang on. Is there online voting? Look. You can register online, it says King County. In Washington State, can you vote online? You can register to vote online. I'm not aware there's online voting there, but I don't know. Bebop and Rocksteady says, yes, Oregon 100% by mail. You can drop it off at a local ballot box, usually City Hall or something. Thanks, by the way, to Bebop and Rocksteady for your support, and SC for the gift memberships. Thank you. Rose Garvey says you can go. I'm not sure what state she's talking about. She says you can go to county clerk office to vote on election day if you want in person. Anyways, I don't believe, because I've never heard of it. No, there is USA.gov. There is no online voting in federal elections. That is from a United States government website. Can you vote online? No. In federal elections in the U.S., you cannot vote online. So there you go. All right. Zedikiel says, I'm in Washington State and we can drop off any ballot in person or by mail. April Coco says, I mailed in my ballot. Anonymous says, if you live outside the U.S., you can. Well, again, I'm just going off of this, which is a government website which literally says in federal elections in the U.S. you cannot vote online. Whether there's some sort of provision for people who live outside the country, I don't know. But that's what it says. Hold on. Let me just check, make sure I'm not missing any big news while talking about this. Hang on a moment. I want to talk about that other story about the person at the University of Michigan, the Chinese student who tried to vote, even though he wasn't a citizen. Now he's getting charged. We'll talk about that in a second. So I'm just checking some of the messages here. Carolyn Strife sent me a text message. She got an unsolicited text about, I guess, going to the Harris rally. I was saying I get texts from both sides all the time, these spam texts. Hey, hold on a second here. I just wanted to update you on that story about the person at the University of Michigan. One moment here. One moment here. Hey, thanks, by the way, to Ron Dykman. Thank you, Ron, for your support. I really appreciate it. Ron does not like either candidate. Thank you, Ron, for your support. Much appreciated. Thank you also to, did I thank SC? Thanks, SC, for the gift memberships. As I mentioned before, the the Department of State, which I believe does elections in Michigan, is that what the Michigan Department of State? They announced that they were charging a person for voting illegally. Now I can't find where I put it. Here, I got it. I have it here. So the Michigan Department of State, you can see it says Michigan Secretary of State's Office. Hold on. Charges filed in non-citizen voting case. A non-U.S. citizen has been charged for allegedly illegally registering to vote and casting a ballot in the 2024 general election. Following an alleged violation of the law involving a non-U.S. citizen, reportedly a 19-year-old U-Michigan Chinese student. Following an alleged violation of the law involving a non-U.S. citizen voting at an Ann Arbor early voting site on Sunday, October 27th, the Washtenaw County Prosecutor's Office has authorized criminal charges of 1, unauthorized elector attempting to vote, and 2, perjury, making a false affidavit for purpose of securing voter registration. All charges are allegations only. Only U.S. citizens can register and vote in our elections. It is illegal to lie on any registration forms or voting applications about one's citizenship status. Doing so is a felony. They say non-citizen voting is an extremely isolated and rare event. Investigations in multiple states and nationwide have found no evidence of large numbers of non-citizens registering to vote. Even less common is a non-citizen actually casting a ballot. When it does happen, we take it extremely seriously. Our elections are secure, and Michigan state and local election officials carefully follow the law. Yeah, I wonder if this will could this get the person thrown out of the country? I don't know how their immigration, aside from like jail time or whatever. I don't know what the deal with that is, but could they lose their visa? According to the Detroit News, they say this is a student from China who's at the University of Michigan. They say that he registered to vote Sunday using his U-Michigan identification and other documents, which as evidence of his residency in Ann Arbor, and he signed a document saying he was a U.S. citizen, which he is now being charged with a felony for. He actually submitted a ballot. It was tabulated, and now that it's been tabulated, according to the Detroit News, it will count because there's no way for officials to go back and find like his particular ballot, I guess. And that is because the system is designed to prevent people's names. The system is designed to prevent somebody from going back and finding out who you voted for and knowing your name and finding out who you voted for. They don't keep a record of, there's a record of votes, I guess, but not a record of like which individual person by name voted for whom. So anyway, so it sounds like the vote is going to count, and we don't even know who he voted for. Also, the city administrator. Which city administrator is this? Apparently the Ann Arbor city administrator told the Detroit News, if I'm reading this right, that the student was fully aware of what he was doing and that it was not legal. Oh, and the Detroit News also reported that after voting, the student had tried to get the ballot back. They said, the Detroit News, that, where is it here? I just want to make sure. I thought I saw that before. The student contacted the local clerk asking if he could get the ballot back after he voted. By the way, the Detroit News says that one of the two charges, these charges both carry possible jail time. So, in addition to possible other penalties. Anyways, I don't know who the person voted for. Michelle Batten says maybe the person will say who they voted for. Now they could. I don't know if this person is running to get interviewed by anyone, but they could also. I mean, there's no way they could also say who they voted for. There's no way to prove that they're telling the truth at this point. Rob Zilla says, "What a dum-dum." Cloud says, "Imagine if the election comes down to one vote." I mean, in theory, it could. Most likely not. JDD says he will never get his citizenship now. Mike E thinks he was probably trying to prove a point thinking the system is bad, but the system worked and he got caught. Yeah, I don't know, like, according to the article quotes a city official as saying that he knew what he was doing was illegal. The article says he tried to get his ballot back after. I mean, he was, in theory, reportedly he was 19 years old. I mean, people sometimes do not the smartest things, especially when they're younger. So was this, I mean, I have no idea what the motivation was here, but you can think of like really sinister motivations, or maybe it's just something he was like, oh, this would be silly to do and tell my friends or something. You know, I don't know what this person was thinking. Lord Cog says the system worked. Great point. Vegan Tapatio says, be right back, going to China to vote. Now, Sarah says, no, I think the voting age is 18. Isn't it? In the U.S., isn't it 18? Yeah, it's 18 years old. Guys, I see people mentioning red alerts in the chat. We're not covering that story right now. I will certainly keep my eyes out. I mean, red alerts happen all the time in Israel. Not that they're not important, but, you know, we're not covering that story right now. So I'm sure we'll do Middle East coverage soon. By the way, thanks, Rick D, for your support. I really appreciate it, Rick D. Patricia Gray says he should lose ability to remain and be deported. Well, if he's convicted of a felony, my guess is that could impact his stay. But I don't know the details on how he's here, and like, will the school take action, and could that affect his stay? I'm not an immigration expert, so I don't know. Rebecca Falsetto says maybe it was a blank vote. KM says, oh, come on, we know who we voted for. I honestly have no idea who this person voted for. I don't know. Charlene Harmon says, we have voted early in Tennessee and I had to show ID and confirm our home address. I believe different states have different processes about that in the U.S. Hold on a second. Hold on. Okay. So I think we're going to do, I'm sure we'll do more election coverage coming up. Oh, hold on. According to Ed O'Keefe, Kamala Harris is going to do appearances tomorrow in Phoenix, Arizona, Reno, Nevada, and Las Vegas, Nevada. And Trump, I know, is doing at least 2 rallies tomorrow. So Trump, I see Henderson, Nevada at like 6:15 Eastern time. I'm seeing that on Reuters. At least that's when their coverage starts. Albuquerque, New Mexico, they have them at 1:45 Eastern time. Okay. Harris, Reno. Trump is doing also, he is attending in Arizona a hurricane relief benefit with Tucker Carlson. Harris is in Vegas at 11:45. Wow. 11:45, 8:10, 4 o'clock. Trump is Henderson 6:15, 8:45. When's the first one? Albuquerque 1:45. Yeah, there's a bunch of rallies tomorrow. We might do a bunch of election coverage tomorrow. I mean, we're getting so close at this point. I haven't done it yet, but we might do, there's a world in which we just do like, we just stay on and we just cover all the rallies. If I'm allowed to show them. I have to have permission, I have to have access to them, but I might. So, we might end up doing that tomorrow. I gotta see what's going on with like the Middle East stuff and all that. All right. So we might end up doing that tomorrow. By the way, thanks to Ellen Zen for your support. Thank you, Ellen. That's really nice of you. Damien says, be back when politics are done. I get enough of that everywhere else. No one's making you watch. I think people maybe have gotten the wrong idea about the channel. The channel is not the Middle East news channel. I mean, the Middle East news is incredibly important. That's why we've been covering it so much. But this channel covers all kinds of news. Now, no one's making you watch the channel at all. Certainly no one's making you watch every single story we do. Maybe some stories you're more interested in and some aren't. So that's fine. I do sense some anger. I see some people who seem to be very angry that we're covering that we're covering this story that we shouldn't be covering. This little old story about the presidential election in the United States. Why are you covering that story? So, you know, there's all kinds of news that happens. Thank you, Bebop and Rocksteady. Bebop and Rocksteady said healthcare costs went up for next year by a substantial amount. I mean, I actually think you could argue that we haven't covered the election enough. I mean, I'm doing my best to cover various things, but I think an argument can be made that we should cover it more. It's so important. Yeah, M says we haven't covered other world news because the only Middle East stuff has been covered because there's been so much of it. M says, so embrace the topic change. Yeah, I mean, it's not only one topic here. And also sometimes with the Middle East stuff, there's some days where more stuff is happening, some days where less new stuff. I mean, stuff's always happening, of course, but there's some days when there's more, I would say, like new, the most important stuff happening. So, you know, we'll cover it more. Thank you, DKK. DKK, I have no idea what you're talking about in particular. No, not DKK, SC. Thank you, SC. I'm not sure what you're referring to specifically, but so I have no comment on it, but thank you, SC. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I think what I'm going to do right now is, by the way, Frankie says, I'm not from America, but I'm still interested as it affects the whole world. It does affect the whole world. Oh, thank you also, Rita. Thanks, Rita. That's really nice of you. I appreciate that, Rita. Lisa Sutz says the election is every 4 years. Devin Bradley says, I'm in Australia. I'm interested in who wins the election because it affects the world. Some voters in Washington and Oregon are still waiting for their ballots. That's not good. That's from AP. Election officials in Washington State and Oregon say the U.S. Postal Service has not delivered ballots to some voters. In Coss County along Oregon's western coast, an unknown number of ballots have not been delivered, and frustrated voters are inundating the clerk's office with phone calls. It's a vote-by-mail state. Coos County had around 50,000 active and registered voters. There's no way to know the total number of ballots affected because we only know if there's a problem if voters tell us, said a spokesperson with the Oregon Secretary of State's office. In Whitman County, up to 300 ballots had not been delivered, said the auditor, mostly to post office box holders in the town of Garfield. Anyways, hopefully people can get their ballots and vote. Then there's also this. Michigan removes 2 township clerks after they expressed plans to hand count votes. This is from AP as well. 2 Michigan township clerks in the Upper Peninsula have been removed from their election duties after expressing plans to hand count votes in the upcoming election, according to a letter sent by the state's Bureau of Elections director. In the directive dated October 28th, the director said these two clerks were barred from administering elections until further notice. Michigan uses electronic voting machines to tabulate ballots, and a hand count would be unlawful. I don't know why they were saying they were going to hand count. I think I have something else about that. Hold on. Right here, I have it. Here's something else about that story. Michigan strips 2 clerks in small town of election duties over hand count plan. This is from Reuters. 2 election officials in a small Michigan town have been stripped of their duties overseeing the presidential election after they vowed to go ahead with a plan to hand count already tabulated ballots, an alleged violation of state law. The development highlights distrust of voting equipment among some officials. Reuters says following years of falsehoods by Republican former President Trump and his allies about their integrity. It also comes as election officials in Michigan and other swing states are on edge ahead of what polls indicate is a tight race between Trump and Harris. I don't know what party the 2 people were who were stripped of their duties. One of the people who was stripped of his duties, Tom Shearkolk, told Reuters he believed a hand count was needed to restore trust in the electoral process. He said, "We have people within our township as well as half the country who believe the last presidential election had a lot of malfeasance. Because of that, we simply wanted to hand count the ballots to verify the tabulators are doing their work accurately." The Michigan Bureau of Elections director made the decision to strip these 2 people of their duties overseeing the election. Where does it say it here? After Shearkolk said he intended to conduct a hand count of ballots already scanned through the electronic tabulator instead of placing them in sealed containers in preparation for the county canvass. In the letter, the Michigan Bureau of Elections director said those actions would be contrary to law, interfere with the integrity of the election process, undermine the county canvass, and jeopardize the ability of candidates to request a recount. The other person, who also could not be reached or comment, also intended to go along with the unlawful plan, he said. Shearkolk claimed there was nothing in state law preventing him from doing a hand count. He said he plans to send a formal complaint to the director of the Bureau of Elections. In his letter to this worker, the head of the Michigan Bureau of Elections warned that failure to comply with the state's orders was a criminal misdemeanor offense. Rock River is a town of around 1,200 people. That is where this was going on. Anyways, that's from Reuters. I mean, it certainly seems like they have this process where they know what's going on with the ballots at all times. So I could certainly understand if they have this process, not wanting to let individual election workers kind of start freestyling and handling ballots on their own that they're not supposed to be handling. Because once that happens, you don't have this, you don't have a control, you don't know where they are at every step of the chain. And they can do recounts under the current system. Anyways, so. Oops. Yeah, JDD, they never actually did. They said they were going to do it, which is why they were relieved of their duties. Robert Brown says, so verifying the count is illegal, Robert? Anyways, I guess there are procedures, established procedures for doing a recount. But these people, I guess these two people wanted to do their own procedure. Were they charged? No, I don't believe they've been charged with anything. Rose Garvey says this election is going to turn into a blank show. I mean, certainly if it's super close, that just magnifies anything. It's possible that I know the polling has been close in these battleground states. But if the polling is off a few percent either way, one candidate or the other could win all the battleground states by a number of percent. And it might end up not being that close. So we'll just have to wait and see. Big Lock says, I'm not looking forward to the blank show. Hunt Beer said, you don't want to have I think Hunt Beer is saying you don't want to have a loose chain of custody with the ballots. By the way, thank you so much, Rick D. That's really nice of you, Rick, for the donation and the gift memberships. Thanks for all your support, Rick D. Really nice of you. Thanks also, Matrix Worm. Does Israel benefit more from Kamala or Trump? I mean, you could argue that Trump might has more of a stance, maybe. I mean, somebody can make the argument that Trump has a more pro-Israel stance, but I don't want to necessarily say that because there's all kinds of complexities there. So it's an interesting question. There may be people in Israel who think actually that Harris would be better for them, So, if you're going to say who's better for Israel, part of that, answering that question is, well, what do you think is good for Israel in the long run? What kind of policies are good for Israel, right? So it's a complex question because you might have disagreement over, well, what kind of policies are best for Israel in the long run? It's an interesting question. I'm not going to attempt to answer it. Thanks to our viewer, Bacon Fat. SC, I haven't seen it. Our member SC, thank you. Send me the story, SC. Send it to me on X if you want. At Lookner. All right, I think what we're going to do is, what is this? Hold on. I'm going to look at something first. So I think we might, because there's a bunch of rallies tomorrow, a bunch from both candidates. So there's a chance that we might, I got to see if I can get access to them. There's a world in which tomorrow we would just do a bunch of election coverage, and talk about the election and show the different rallies, which might be interesting to do, but I'm not positive on the access I have to them. Hopefully I have access to them. But the first one I think is Trump Albuquerque 1:45 Eastern time. So I kind of like the idea of doing like if there's a bunch of rallies, we can kind of cover one after the other. And then we can talk about election stuff in between. I think that would be interesting to do. But I think in the interest of doing that, maybe I'll wrap this up now. And I think we'll take a break for today from the Middle East coverage. We've been doing it every day, and I think it's important. But, you know, I think if I'm going to get up and try to do this election thing tomorrow, that I should try to go to bed a little earlier. And, you know, so I think we're going to do that. Obviously, if there's huge news tonight, we can come on the air and cover it. But TC Blair says, here in Tennessee, we vote early and by mail and on election day. Pick whichever one works and then go. That's what it is in Massachusetts, too. So, yeah, why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? I really appreciate everybody. Yeah, Waltham says there's been so much news. Yeah, starting with the Biden-Trump debate. There's usually a lot of news, but there's been so much news after that. So, but yeah, so you know, we'll figure if there's big news tonight, I'll come back on the air. But if not, you know, maybe we'll do election coverage tomorrow. And if there's, you know, obviously if there's big Mideast news, we can cover that too. So, but anyways, if you missed it earlier in the stream, we showed both the Harris rally and the Trump rally, although unfortunately I missed the first few minutes of the Trump rally, but you can go back and watch both of those earlier in the stream. All right, so I really appreciate you guys being here and coming by for our election coverage, and we will have more coverage really soon for you. Subscribe, follow Agenda Free TV. We cover, it's not just Middle East news, although I think that's super important, obviously. We cover all kinds of live breaking news without an agenda here. Agenda Free TV. Subscribe and follow. Turn on notifications because I never know when big news is going to happen, so I can't tell you in advance when we're going live exactly. And but if you don't want to miss a stream, you can sign up for the notifications and get notified when we're going live. It's free. We do it through Discord. The mods will post the link in the chat. You sign up once, and then you get sent a notification every time. So sign up for the notifications. The mods will put the link in the chat. You can find the link also in the description of this video on Facebook and YouTube. And speaking of the mods, huge thanks to our moderators. I don't think I have to tell you guys, with these politics streams, it can get pretty heated in the chat sometimes, but fortunately we have the mods to keep things under control and civil and respectful, and we really couldn't have a chat room without them. So huge shout out to our moderators. For example, Roberts May Queen and Beth Mythical over there on YouTube, Cynthia Moon, Ruth Krafasi, Sarah 55, Roberts May Queen, Misunderstood, and all of our other YouTube moderators over there on Twitch, A Moment of Lovely, Surly Dev, thank you. And all of our other Twitch mods who've been there, our Facebook moderators like Ronald Egnor and Beth Shepard and Margaret Riley, Kay Lowry Body, Paul Anderson, Linda Belk and Larry on X. So huge thanks to all of our moderators. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks to everybody who donated too. Super nice of you guys. To support the channel. I really appreciate that. That's what lets this channel exist, is your support. So I think I thanked everybody. Oh, I hope I didn't forget anybody on Twitch. Let's see. I did. E-Biker. I missed E-Biker. And I missed Who Shot JR, I think. Hunt Beer, thanks for your support on Twitch. Dino Nuggies, thanks for your support on Twitch. When I was talking about the 19-year-old, reportedly, Chinese Michigan student who is now being charged with voting illegally in Michigan. Dino Nuggy said, who here has not done anything illegal at 19? That's what Dino Nuggy said. Thank you for your support. And again, E-Biker and Ma Florida. I appreciate your support over there on Twitch. And everybody who donated, thank you so much. Super nice of you. And who shot JR? Sorry. Hang on a second here. What was I going to mention? Oh, I will post updates when I am not on the air. When I am not on the air, and sometimes when I'm on the air, I will post breaking news updates on my X account, which is @Lookner. You can follow me there for breaking news around the clock, pretty much around the clock. @Lookner on X. Also, we do have a chat that you can chat with other viewers when we're not live. The Discord chat, a lot of our viewers like doing that. It's at the same link as the notifications, that link that the mods gave out before. It's free. Check out the Discord chat. You can chat with other viewers. The mods will post the link to that as well. And thanks to our Discord mods, so much Discord mods, thank you. And a reminder for those who watch on YouTube, if you want to get the YouTube notifications, which is another helpful way to find out when we're live, and when we're going live. You got to do this thing on YouTube if you want to get the YouTube notifications, which is if you subscribe, and then once you subscribe, make sure you click the notifications bell and choose all notifications. So if you subscribe on YouTube, make sure you have the bell clicked, choose all notifications. Also, follow us on X @AgendaFreeTV. I will post there when we're going live @AgendaFreeTV on X, and I will also post scheduling updates and channel info sometimes there. Also, big shout out to our Twitch subscribers. Thanks everybody subscribing on Twitch. Shaggy, Drunk Can't Cook, Woogo, Mr. Bigley Uncredible, Trillion, Hunt Beer, Sea Shuffle, thank you, Billy Joe, Wall Street, Allistic, who else we got over there? Ellieborn. It's Woogo. Did I say Wogo? Woogo. Fruit Shop. Thanks to all the subscribers over there on Twitch and all of our other subscribers. Thank you. Jebsy, thanks for subscribing as well. Dundee Man. And all of our other Twitch subscribers, our Facebook subscribers like Eve Richards, Robert Real II, Lou Green, Kay Lowry Body, Beth Shepard. Really appreciate all of our Facebook subscribers too. Thank you. And our YouTube members. Oh, Iva Lynn Berry Speedell. Thanks for subscribing there as well. And our YouTube members, Ruth Krafasi, not Ruth, who's one of our moderators? My brain stopped working. Tyler Guy, Joe Hart, Mama Dukes, UV Lightning, KC, Rick D, Mountain Man, Dean R. Thanks for being members. Matthew Schumacher, Waltham, Lord Cog, Ellen Zen, thank you. MB Bernie Ecclestein, and all of our other viewers as well. George Gakur, watching from Kenya. Thanks for watching from there. Zinkman, Laserworm, Brian Shy, Michelle Batten, thanks for watching. Sarah Smile, Audrey Burbank. All right. So maybe if I can get access to the footage, maybe we'll cover a bunch of the rallies tomorrow and do a politics stream, do an election coverage stream. Hopefully I can get access to the rallies. We'll look into doing that tomorrow, unless there's other big news. Okay, so thank you again for watching. You've been watching our live election coverage. If you missed it, you can go back and watch the Harris and Trump rallies earlier on the stream. That is it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon with more live breaking news coverage right here at Agenda Free TV.